Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack scrambled past the yardsticks. That nursery rhyme, when updated to include some football parlance, proved to be quite apt at Franklin Field on Sunday. Jack Kincannon, the Eagles' sometimes flanker and setback, and sparingly used third-string quarterback, ran the Steelers ragged, passed accurately on key situations, and generally neutralized a Steeler blitzing defense that's been the scourge of the East the past few Sundays. The NFL Game of the Week. The Pittsburgh Steelers against the Eagles of Philadelphia. Steelers won the toss, and Gary Ballman brought the kickoff back to the 22. Bill Nelson, the quarterback, for the first time since the second ball game of the year for Pittsburgh. Nelson on the audible call. Throws the lookie pattern for Gary Ballman on the lookie. First down on the very first play for Pittsburgh. Ground level action of Bill Nelson fumbling the snap on a cold day at Franklin Field. Scramble for the ball, and Nelson maintains possession. Second down and 27. Nelson back with good pass protection. Now he's hit and dropped by Gary Pettigrew, who kept after the quarterback. Loss of 7. Third down and 24. Looking for Roy Jefferson on the center pattern. It's broken up, almost intercepted by Al Nelson. The fourth down kicker is Lambert for Pittsburgh. And he booms the ball out. The Eagles will watch it roll dead now and take over for the first time. All the Steelers reflect Bill Austin's Spartan image, a tough football team from the Steel Town. The quarterback for the Eagles is Jack Kincannon. He can run, and he likes to run more than he does pass. On the very first play, he's loose for 18 yards and a first down. The double wingback formation. Kincannon tosses to Tom Woodashek, the fullback. Woodashek cracks for 8 yards. Kincannon now from that double wingback formation rolls to the left and decides to keep the football. Inside the Steeler 10-yard line and up and over, and he's dropped on the 2. An offsides penalty, though, brings the ball back, and the Eagles start all over. Kincannon faking the draw. Now he hits his swinging fullback, Tom Woodashek. It's an 11-yard gain. But it brings up fourth down and 2. Sam Baker's field goal from the 35. It's up in the air. It's good. Philadelphia 3, Pittsburgh nothing. $54,000 plus watching Billy Nelson. This is the turnout pattern to Gary Ballman, and Nettles drops him after 7. Ground level action of the first down call. Dick Hoke, the 195-pound halfback, storms through for 8 yards. Now on second down and 2, the Eagles blitz. And Nelson calls the right play. The stutter play to Big Willie Asbury, the 230-pounder who can really fly. Asbury for 45 yards before Nettles pulls him down from behind. Bill Nelson back to throw. His receiver is covered, and now Gary Pettigrew, the fine rookie for the Eagles, drops him for a loss of 14. The drive stalls, and on fourth down and 24, Mike Clark's trying from the 31. It's off to the right. It's no good. Philadelphia 3, Pittsburgh nothing. The Steelers realize their blitzing defenses can fall prey to a scrambling quarterback like Jack Kincannon. Number 3 is Kincannon. Tossing to Timmy Brown. Note the good block by Bobby Brown. Timmy picks up 8 yards. A third down call by Jack Kincannon. The quick check flare to Timmy Brown across the middle for a first down. The inside handoff to Tom Woodashek. Driving power with a 210-pounder comes up with 5 yards. Kincannon driving the Eagles. Hands off to Timmy Brown, who's dropped by McGee and fumbles the ball. Number 60 has the ball, the defensive end, who made the jarring tackle. Big break for Pittsburgh. At the end of the first period, it's Philadelphia 3, Pittsburgh nothing. Second quarter begins. Roy Jefferson will go right back on offense thanks to that McGee fumble recovery. Bill Nelson, running the slant pattern, now goes to his alternate receiver, the swing back, and Bullocks is inside the 10-yard line. Good call by the Pittsburgh quarterback. The handoff to Willie Asbury. Good trap blocking. Asbury will score for the Steelers. Let's take another look at this from the end zone spotlight camera. Note the trap block. And Asbury now getting good cross blocking from Charlie Bradshaw. Scores for Pittsburgh. The Steelers 7, the Eagles 3. And Cannon back to work for Philadelphia. Hands off to Woodashek for 6 yards. Classy Jack Kincannon rolling to the left side. Can't find a receiver open and decides to run with the football. Fancy move, and suddenly there's a fumble. Martha falls on the ball in the Eagle 34. Russell making the tackle on Kincannon. Inside handoff to Willie Asbury. He pounds through for 5 yards before Whittingham makes the tackle. Asbury dropped by Dave Lloyd for a loss of 3. On 4th down and 3, Mike Clark will try the field goal from the 37. It's good by a mile. A tremendous kick by Mike Clark. Pittsburgh 10, Philadelphia 3. A bitter cold day at Franklin Field. And Lane Howell, the giant tackle, tries to keep warm by doing an impromptu bunny hop. Eagles trailing 10-3. The toss back to Woodashek. He's dropped on the outside by Campbell, the linebacker, for a loss of 3. On 3rd down and 10, Jack Kincannon rolls straight back to the right. Cuts the ball loose, and Fred Hill is hooked up and has the first down. Kincannon faking the draw play to Timmy Brown. Now finds himself with some running room. Kincannon likes to run. 11 yards and another first down. The Steelers are blitzing on Jack Kincannon. Being chased from behind, but Kincannon somehow gets out of the trap. In front of the Steeler bench, Jack Kincannon now picking up a few Eagles to block. He's finally knocked down by Woodson, but gains 29 yards and a first down. A double wingback call. Kincannon now looking for Timmy Brown, who's closely guarded. And it's a jumping catch by number 22. 17-yard grab by Timmy Brown. First and goal. Woodashek, number 37, pounds in there for a touchdown. There the signal is. We'll take a look at this from the end zone isolated camera. Kincannon to Woodashek. And he carries Saul, the middle linebacker, into the end zone. Pay dirt. Philadelphia 10, Pittsburgh 10. Nelson, long calling against the Eagle defense. Now is forced to run with the football. And is hit and fumbles the ball. Lloyd, the middle linebacker, has it and now laterals back to Nate Ramsey. A scramble for the football on the Steeler 25. from double wingback formation. Kincannon trying to take advantage of that fumble recovery. He's going to roll out, but run with the ball. He's knocked down by Russell, but he picks up 6 yards. Kincannon rolling again. Again deciding to run with the football. This time the Steelers really jar him as big John Baker slams him down, but it's a first down. On 3rd down and 10 on the Steeler 11, Kincannon is rushed and dropped there by Riley Gunnels, the big defensive tackle. It's a 4-yard loss. Means Sam Baker is trying the field goal from the 22. You call it. There's the official call. It's good. Philadelphia 13, Pittsburgh 10. 38 seconds left on the clock as Bill Nelson tries to hustle his team downfield to get on the scoreboard just before half. A check flare to Dick Hoke. And number 42 gets what he can and gets out of bounds. Nelson against a 3-man Eagle rush. Again finds Gary Ballman on the center pattern. And Ballman is tough to tackle. Nelson checking Hoke across the middle, finds the halfback. And Harold Wells finds that Hoke can really run with that football. A 22-yard gain. Scarpati making the final stop. Ben McGee, the giant defensive end, watching as Mike Clark will try a field goal from the 32. Dick Hoke holding the football on the 32. It's up in the air. It's high enough and long enough. It's good. Philadelphia 13, Pittsburgh 13. At the end of one bruising half. A bitter cold day at Franklin Field. Somewhere in the mid-20s, but the football is ferocious. Pick up the action in the 3rd period. The Steelers with the football. Asbury getting a good block from Hoke. Swings to the outside. He's finally hit and gang tackled, but he picks up 12 yards. Ground level action of Bullocks. Pounding straight ahead. The former Dallas Cowboy has 8 yards. On 3rd down, the Eagles blitz. Bill Nelson is ready with the looky pattern to Gary Ballman. Ballman now has some running room. And Joe Scarpati again makes the saving tackle. A 26-yard gain. On 3rd down and 10 on the Eagle 28, Nelson goes on a post pattern for Roy Jefferson. And the ball hits the goalpost. Incomplete. The 4th down play will be Mike Clark's field goal attempt from the 35. It's up in the air. It's plenty good. Philadelphia 13, Pittsburgh 16. John Campbell, the linebacker, prepares to go back on defense and lead the merry chase of the elusive Jack Kincannon. Mike Clark kicking off for Pittsburgh. Other than Gamble on the deep kickoff return specialist, Timmy Brown will kick into the wedge. Dave Lynch, the rookie tight end, gets the ball. And the Steelers get Lynch. Number 3, whirling Jack Kincannon. Drops straight back in the pocket this time and stays in there against the rush of McGee. Ronnie Goodwin is open and Brady Keys is hot after Goodwin. 29-yard first down for the Eagles. From the Steeler 41. Kincannon behind Woodashek and Timmy Brown decides now to run the football. Russell makes the tackle, but Kincannon comes up with 9 yards. The Steelers blitz as Kincannon quickly goes on the looky pattern to Hill, Fred Hill. Hill has 11 yards and another Eagle first down. Ground level action. Kincannon is being chased. And now cut up inside to pick up some 7 yards before he's brutally tackled by Russell. Penalty against the Steelers for grabbing the face mask. Half the distance, and now it's 1st and goal to go. Kincannon rolling behind, excellent blocking. Gets inside the 5, down to the 1-yard line. Second and goal. The call is Tom Woodashek. The spin and pay dirt for the fullback from West Virginia. Philadelphia 20, Pittsburgh 16. Nelson back on the attack. Hands off to Asbury, and there's a fumble on the handoff. Gary Pettigrew falls on it for Philadelphia. Big break for the Eagles as the Steeler bench knows they must stop Jack Kincannon's running. Jack Kincannon, who hasn't started an Eagle game at quarterback since 1964, has gone all the way this cold afternoon, and now he's going to run with the football again. Kincannon being chased and zeroed in by Campbell, but Campbell can't make the tackle. 16 yards and another Eagle first down. First down call on the Steeler 15. The fake to Woodashek. Now the throw to Timmy Brown on the swing. Brown battles to the 6-yard line. At the end of 3 periods, Philadelphia 20, Pittsburgh 16. The fourth and final period getting underway. Ground level action as Kincannon keeps the ball and rolls on the bootleg play. Gets to about the 2-yard line. First and goal call goes to Woodashek, who runs into that defense for the Steelers. About a yard gain. Kincannon on the quarterback sneak finds the hole and scores for Philadelphia. Philadelphia 27, Pittsburgh 16. After this extra point by Sam Baker. Let's see him kick the automatic. Almost a high snap, and Baker rams it through anyway. Philadelphia 27, Pittsburgh 16. Big John Baker, the defensive end, hopes the Steelers can come up with a big play on offense. The Eagles kickoff, Sam Baker advancing, and the dangerous Gary Ballman waiting downfield. Certainly one of the all-pro performers for Pittsburgh. Ballman with a good wedge in front of him. Breaks out over the 35-yard line, and Ben Hawkins makes the tackle. 22-yard return for Gary Ballman. Bill Nelson faking now. On the jog and go for Roy Jefferson far up the sidelines. Nelson and Jefferson, and the jump ball goes to Jefferson on the 5-yard line. A 43-yard aerial. On 3rd down and 2, Willie Asbury, the fullback, gets the call and scores for Pittsburgh. Philadelphia 27, Pittsburgh 23 in the 4th period. For a team expected to go nowhere in the Eastern Division, the Steelers are continuing to confound all the experts. They're a tough team. The Steelers kicking off. Mike Clark is number 83, and Timmy Brown is number 22. A man who set the National Football League record for running back 2 kickoffs for touchdowns in a single game. The Steelers, though, are a hard-tackling outfit, and they converge on Timmy Brown. The 2nd down call by Jack Kincannon. It's the screen pass to Timmy Brown. And he's necktied there by John Campbell, the linebacker. No gain. On 3rd down and 9, Jack Kincannon. Faking the draw to Timmy Brown. Looks for Woodashek. The fullback has swung and is wide open, but now he's dropped hard by Brady Keys. It's a first down. The toss play to Tim Brown. And Ben McGee is right there to throw him for a loss of 7. Kincannon back to throw. And Russell grabs him on the blitz by the Pittsburgh Steelers. A loss of 7 yards. Only 3 points separates the Steelers and the Eagles, and Dave Lloyd's face shows the concern. 3rd down and 20 yards to go for a first down. Kincannon rushed and in trouble. Now he sets off downfield again and gets out of bounds right in front of the Eagle bench. Eagles were offsides, though, and of course the penalty refused by Pittsburgh, so Sam Baker has to boot the football. Good coverage by the Eagles forces the Steelers to let the ball just roll dead. About 6 minutes left on the clock. Bill Nelson recovering from surgery and doing a good job running the attack for Bill Austin. Asbury to the outside for about 3. There's a fumble, but Gagner falls on it for Pittsburgh. Second down and 7. Nelson staying in the pocket. Goes on his swing back to Bullocks, who stays on his feet for 18 yards and a first down. Big play by Bill Nelson. The handoff on our ground camera action of Willie Asbury being dropped for a loss by Dave Lloyd. Time is running out. This could be a big third down call. Nelson being rushed by the Eagles. And now spun down and dropped by Gary Pettigrew. Loss of 4 will bring up 4th and 17. Here's Lambert kicking the football. And while the ball was in the air, the Eagles clipped. The 15-yard penalty gave the Steelers a first down. There's the call by the official. The Steelers maintain possession. This brings up good field position for Pittsburgh. The 47-yard line. The Steelers now within striking distance. Nelson faking the roll play. Now does some scrambling of his own. Back to the right side, looking for someone to throw to, and spots Asbury, the fullback, and he can't make the grab. Incomplete. Nelson trying to get time. Comes up with a draw play to Asbury, but no gain. Third down and 10. Nelson back quickly now. Going for Gary Ballman on the post corner, and Ballman's open and drops the football. The great all-pro end started the run before he made the catch. Incomplete. Fourth down gamble now. With time running out, it's a 4th down and 10 call by Nelson. And Asbury's covered by 3 Eagles. Incomplete. The Eagles, though, cannot run out that clock, and Gary Ballman and company have one more fleeting chance. Victory or defeat. 1:37 left on the clock. Pittsburgh with the football. Bill Nelson back with good protection this time. Going across the middle. Intended for Hilton and knocked away by Nate Ramsey. Good defensive play. After a holding penalty, Nelson's throwing from his 8. He's going for Gary Ballman. It's knocked away again by Nate Ramsey. 1:07 left on the clock. The third down play, Nelson standing in the end zone. It's Gary Ballman for 16 yards, but not enough for the first down. 1:07 left. Nelson being blitzed and dropped by Harold Wells for a 15-yard loss. Let's repeat the blitz by the Eagle linebacker to the right lower corner of your screen, number 53. He gets a good start, and Nelson can't adjust and hit Dick Hoke. It's a 15-yard loss. 4th and 24. The last gasp by Pittsburgh as Nelson tries across the middle and finds Gary Ballman. A 10-yard gain, but that's the way it ends. Philadelphia 27, Pittsburgh 23. The Eagles, now 7 wins against 5 losses, have a chance for the playoff bowl. The Steelers are still the tough football team from the Steel Town. Their defense superb, but Jack Kincannon, the Eagle quarterback, rambled on the ground. And that was the difference in the ball game.
Bye.